Yo, what's going on, man? Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show. Today is July the 9th. There are 4 games on the board for today, 3 camp games, and then one later game that's regular start time for the Dallas Wings and the Chicago Sky. So we'll break all 4 of those down. We'll talk about what Jackson got Jackson working again. I just wasn't signed in yesterday for whatever reason, so I didn't give out any Jackson looks. But we'll jump into the show for today. No recap for myself. Told you guys I was taking yesterday off. If I had played, I would have went 2-1. Both for the unders, one over the Washington and Chicago over hit by half a point, and then the Aces game did stay under the total, and I would have bet Chicago plus the 7, and that would have been a winner as well. But I didn't make any bets yesterday. Didn't send anything out. Didn't make any bets. Wanted to take the day off. I've made one play so far, and maybe I'll add another. But still really not feeling the WNBA. Hopefully you guys made some money today. Made some money yesterday and make some money today. So we'll jump into it. We'll try to go quickly because there is a game that starts in about 10 minutes. Algina says, good morning, Chris and Chad. Went 0-3 in the W last night. Lost on Sabrina over her 2.5 threes. So Brittany Sykes over her 21.5 points and assists. And Asia Wilson over her 23.5 points. Got to bounce back today. Yeah, that's a tough day, Algina, with Asia getting hurt. Brittany Sykes not really needing to do much yesterday. And then Sabrina did everything except hit 3 threes yesterday. She was hooping yesterday. Her rebounds, I think, went over. Her assists went over. So you definitely had a bad day. But yeah, you'll turn it around. I do believe that. What's up, Matt? Appreciate you for tapping in. It says these NBA schedules make no sense. Games at 11 a.m. while people are at work. So a lot of people don't work in the summer, or they take the summers off, and a lot of the camps will take the kids to these games. This is something that I started to do when I was actually working for a camp, like when I was still in college, like 12 years ago. About 12 years ago, I was taking kids to camp day games in D.C. To see the Washington Mystics play back then. So, that's why they do it. Big Zan says Golden State plus 7.5, first half -9. What up, Brian? Says good morning. He says WNBA should have laid off with you yesterday. Got hooked on the over 165.5. Shaking my head. Let's get it today. First half Storm -9. What do you think? We'll talk about it. What's up, Mark? Appreciate you for tapping in. So Keith says, can we get a play for the 11 a.m. game that starts soon? We'll talk about it in just a second. Good morning, Jalen. What's up, Free Sauce? Prolific says, man, stupid first game went over by 1 bucket. Yeah, I'm all for the W right now, man. I'm not sizing in heavy. Not anything that I really like at all in the WNBA. I've been kind of chilling on the WNBA. But anyway, let's jump into it for today. Lee says he loves the early games, watching and listening while work ain't bad at all. A little vibe. I like it as well. And speaking of watching, I need to make sure I have it pulled up so I can watch too. But yeah, we'll try to get through these games pretty quickly so I can start watching that game as well. All right, so let's jump into it. So first up, we'll start with Jackson. Jackson's the AI sports betting tool, of course. There's a link in the description if you want to check it out. You can save some coin if you're interested. No plays yesterday. No recap from Jackson yesterday. Today, asked Jackson what are the 2 best WNBA player props, 1 over, 1 under. Jackson likes Caitlin Clark over her 8.5 assists here. It says that Caitlin has been a consistent force in distributing the ball, especially recently. She's hit the over on this line at 80% of her last 5 games, averaging 8.6 assists. Over her last 10 games, she has a hit rate of 70% with the average of 8.8 assists as well. For the season, she has a hit rate of 77.78% of her games, averaging 8.89 assists. When playing at home during the 2025-2026 season, she hit the over 80% of the time as well, averaging 9.2 assists. While the Golden State Valkyries rank 8th in opponent defense against assists, Clark's consistent performance and role as a primary playmaker makes this an attractive over. So Caitlin Clark over. News narrative, she's expected to make her return to the lineup today against the Golden State Valkyries. After missing time with the growing injury, news reports indicate that even with her return, the team expects her to focus on her elite playmaking. One report specifically states, quote, I'd expect her to get back to doing what she does so well, distribute the ball and rack up assists. She's averaging 8.9 assists this season and had 9 assists in her last 3 games, including versus Golden State, end quote. This narrative strongly supports her going over her assist total as she steps back into a role as the team's primary facilitator. I didn't read that earlier, but okay. I like that. That makes a lot of sense. Maybe take Caitlin Clark under her points prop in this game. I could definitely see that as well. All right, and then the next prop, and I got to hurry up because I do want to talk about this first game real quick before it starts. Courtney Williams under her 1.5 3-point makes. While Courtney Williams has shown some recent over trends in her last 5 games, averaging 1.8 3-point field goal makes. A deeper dive into her performance against the Mercury revealed a strong case for the under. In this season, she's hit the under in 100% of her 2 games against the Mercury, averaging just a half a 3 made. Looking back to last season, she hit the under 75% of her 4 games against them, averaging just 0.75 3-point makes. And then the Phoenix Mercury also boasts a strong defense against the 3-point field goals, ranking 6th in the league. Her season average threes of 1.47, which is just below this line. So take Courtney Williams under her 3.5 point prop, and then take Caitlin Clark over her assist prop is what Jackson likes today. All right, jump into it. So first game up, game is about to start right now. I actually don't like the game at all. I don't want to bet the game at all. So what I'll tell you guys is what I wrote in my notes is if I do play anything, it'll probably be something live. It's an ugly, gross game, right? We start with the injury report just really quickly. I think Seattle has a clear injury report, and then for the Connecticut Sun, I did see that Marina Mabry is still going to be out, and Jayla Brown is also out. Lexi Brown is also out for Seattle. So no real injury. Seattle has covered 7 of their last 10 games. They're 6-4 ATS in their last. They covered 7 of their 10 road games. I'm sorry, they're 6-4 ATS in their last 10 games. What you don't like for Seattle in this spot, one, it's an early start time game. Their body clocks are not adjusted to playing this early. Especially on the East Coast, right? They are on the last game before game road trip. They could easily, let their foot up off the gas in this spot, especially coming off back-to-back wins against Atlanta and New York, and they won both of those games as a dog. That tells me it's a little bit of a letdown spot. It's hard to take Connecticut. You can see on the right-hand side, they are dead last in every, category, offensive rating, defensive rating. They even suck at rebounding now, and they play super slow. They're just not a great offensive team, which is why these totals keep coming down. I looked into the strongest thing that I could find was double-digit favorites who previously won as a dog. They covered just 34% of the time in the next game. They're 16-31-1, and they've actually covered twice as a dog. So it's tough. I was considering a Seattle team total under. I think the number was like 87.5, 86.5. That's honestly the way I think Seattle could win this game without having to score that many points. That's the way I would probably play this one if I was playing anything before it tips off. 86.5 is the best number you could get. That's what I would lean towards in this game, a Seattle team total under. I think Connecticut can slow the pace down. I think Seattle could be a little lackadaisical, being that they're playing super early. 11 o'clock on the East Coast when you typically play at 10 o'clock on the West Coast, that's different. So that's the way I would play it. But it's not really a play on Connecticut. It's more so a fade at Seattle. Connecticut is terrible. 3-5 ATS at home. They've lost 10 games in a row. They're 2-16 on the season. They failed to cover for their last 5 games. Connecticut did also lose. They got smoked in Seattle. 97-81 is what the final score was back on June 27th. There was a 19.5 point dog, but they did end up barely covering in that game, and it did go over the total 156.5. So I expect something to give in this spot. I would be looking towards it's ugly, but Connecticut plus the points or a Seattle team total under would be the way that I would be playing this game. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. What up, Free Sauce? Yeah, I did watch that last night. Shout out to Dalton Connect and Darius Baisley. The boys was hooping last night. I did watch that last night, Brian, while I was capping these games, matter of fact. Let's see what else y'all saying. What's up, Meach? Says good morning, y'all. Grab Gabby over 21.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I don't think that's a bad look at all. Sky plus 5.5 over 155.5. Super late, super early slate. Yeah, super early. Mark says played it under 156. Connecticut's offense is so bad, man. I just don't think Seattle's going to have to score either. I didn't bet it, but Seattle team total under, Connecticut plus the points would be the way that I'll be looking. Peasy says top of the morning. What up, Peasy? What's up, Bissy? Robert says Storm Sun over or under. I'm not going to touch this total before the game starts, Robert, but I would probably play it after the first quarter, depending on what happened, and just thinking things would get back to variance, right? If they come out, everybody's shooting a super high percentage, then I'll probably wait till halftime and take a full game under. Connecticut is the worst offense in the WNBA. Seattle, just a terrible spot for Seattle. Last game, 4-game road trip, coming off back-to-back wins as a favorite, as a double, as a dog, and you got the super early start time. It's not a great spot for Seattle. Not that they can't win this game by 20, but it's not a great start. Natalie says she's taking the over 155. She says Storm first quarter and the over 155. And this game is actually about to start now, so I'm going to flip it on real quick. And then Turn it down so it's not interrupting with the volume. All right, so game on. Get through the rest of the comments and then we'll go to the next one. Sniper says I like the over. Mark says busy early round massacre better but still down. W is very good. W very good. A says good morning, Chris. Gotta go with the Sun team total under 69.5, but I have a feeling they cover the spread. I do too. Hey, we'll talk about that in a second. Brian says, what about Seattle first half minus 9.5? What do you think? I actually think Connecticut could cover early. I don't want to play on Seattle. I just said that. I don't want to play on Seattle. Back-to-back wins as a dog against Atlanta, New York. Last game of the road trip, and you're starting this one at 11 o'clock. Their body time, man, bro, they probably got cold still in their eyes. Like, it's not a spot, in my opinion, for Seattle. Let's move over to the next one. So we got the Valkyries and the Fever. This is also early start time. This one starts in about an hour. The Valkyries are getting 7 points. It looks like it's consensus right now. And this total has moved up, right? It opened 160, I think 162.5 yesterday. Up as high as 164.5. It looks like that's consensus. And the spread has come back down. The Indiana Fever, when Caitlin Clark got ruled in yesterday, this went all the way as high as 8.5 is what I had in my notes. It's back down to 7.5. You still can get 7. 6.5 is available on FanDuel. Books don't even know what to do with this game. On the injury report, I think the Golden State Valkyries will have, they'll pretty much be at full strength. And then the Indiana Fever don't have anybody on the injury report in this game. Dantes is back from playing Euro basketball, and Caitlin Clark is also back, right? So very, very interesting game. The Valkyries have, of course, wet the bed twice. They failed to cover back-to-back games after covering like 1,000 games when they were playing in Golden State. Every game, right? No matter who they played against. I think they beat the 2000 Lakers when they were on their homestand. And then they go on the road, lose to Minnesota, don't cover. They go to Atlanta, lose and don't cover. And I had them in that game as well. They're still 11-7 against the spread on the full season. This is the third straight road game after a four-game road trip for them. And then you got the Fever, right? Looking in a nice little bounce back spot could be for the Fever. They are just 2-5 against the spread at the crib. Their average line is right at 8.5, which is where we saw this game open at. Well, where we saw it get bet up to. They had won 3 straight and all without Caitlin Clark before losing to the Sparks in their last game. This is their third straight home game, and they got 2 more home games after this game. So Indiana probably super comfortable at the crib. They also are in a revenge spot, right? We remember the Valkyries being at the crib, and they absolutely, smoked the Indiana Fever in that last game. They went to Golden State, and they were laying 11 points. They lost the game by 11, right? 88-77, laying 11. Game did go over to 164 total. Indiana's offense increases to a 105 offensive rating. I'm sorry, from a 105 offensive rating with Caitlin Clark off the floor to a 110 offensive rating with her on the floor. Defensively, they're better without Caitlin Clark as well, about 3-point differential without Caitlin Clark on the floor. So very, very interesting game. What I came up with from my notes is under. Both of these teams are playing very, very slow. You can see the pace numbers here for the full season, 10th and 9th. But last 5 games, both teams are bottom 5 in pace. Golden State, second best defensive rated team in the last 5 games. They're 9th in scoring as well. So Golden State's offense struggles. They suck, especially in the second half. The way that Indy defends the 3-point line should limit Golden State's offense. Golden State, last 5 games, they're taking the 3rd most threes and making the 4th most threes. If you watched the game against Atlanta the other day, they were taking a bunch of threes in that game. Indiana's defense is top 5 in both opponent 3-point makes and attempts in the last 5 games. And they also top 5 in opponent 3-point field goal percentage. So that leads itself to an under. The way that kind of matches up on the opposite side, India is a team that attempts a lot of shots in the restricted area, right? A little bit more than everybody else. Problematic because Golden State's actually number 1 in opponent rim accuracy. Opponent restricted area makes and attempts is what I'm trying to say this season. So I think this game, especially with the total going up, I like it under 164.5 would be my recommendation for this game. I also like Caitlin Clark under her points prop. I think they'll be physical with her. I think they'll force the ball out of her hands. And I think she'll be on a little bit of a minutes limit too in this game, especially, with her first game back. She's missed like 2.5 weeks now. I think maybe even a little bit more than 2.5 weeks. So I would take Caitlin Clark under in this game. I would take her under her points prop. I think the number was 18.5. I think I think they can still get busy without Caitlin Clark necessarily, playing super great on the offensive end. It'll also be the first time that Caitlin Clark has played with Ari McDonald because they kept her, right? So I think that's going to help out a lot too, right? I think Caitlin Clark under 18 and a half points. And then I think the full game under. I think those would be the ways that I would want to play this game. Let's see, Seattle. No. Golden State and Indy under 164.5. I think that would be the way that I would want to play. As far as the spread goes, like, I don't know, man. I don't want to bet on the Valkyries on the road until I realize that they can cover. Both of these teams have been really, really good in the first half, right? The Indiana Fever really struggle for whatever reason to close out games. The Valkyries also struggle to close out games. I was looking into this last night. I'll just share this real quick. I was looking into the Valkyries. For whatever reason, we know that they typically cover at home. They cover at home and they cover early. I'll bring that up in just a second. But I think they're one of the worst teams as far as scoring the basketball in the fourth quarter. They typically lose the fourth quarter by they're like a -3, -2.7 in the fourth quarter. And if you add the day on the road, they average 17 points in the fourth quarter. If you add the day on the road, they average 14.8. They lose the fourth quarter by average of 6 points, right? Almost 7 points. I'm trying to figure out why I lost the bet the other day against Atlanta, and they just struggle to close out games. So we'll see if they can be a little bit more consistent in this game, but they have failed to cover 3 of their last 3 straight road games, 4 of their last 5 road games as well. They're losing by average of 7 points, which is right where their spread is. They are 5-3 to the under as well on the road. So real quick, if we go over to, just pull this up real quick, and then I'll go over to the comments real quick, but I want to show you guys what I was looking at as far as what is going on over here. All right, never mind. I can't get it. It's not working. Seattle coming out on fire. Okay, Seattle. Yeah, this not. I was trying to go to Moneyball. I can't get it to work. It keeps telling me I need to sign in. So never mind. I wanted to show you guys the correlation where the Valkyries are really, really good in the first half, but then not as good in the second half. But just take my word for it. Yeah, just take my word for it. It's not coming up right now. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. Let's see. Mark says Valkyries first half. I know that's probably +3.5, not -3.5. He just made a mistake there. Valks first half 6-0 ATS. Aaliyah Boston double for Gina. Aaliyah Boston points are extremely low. I get it. The Valkyries only give up a few points in the paint. I understand that, but 14.5 seems too low. I was actually looking at this yesterday, Algina. I don't know what the line is for her double specifically, but I was looking into Aaliyah Boston last night, her points prop, and I do feel like it's a tad bit too low. I think Aaliyah Boston could get bit. I mean, if they come out with the revenge on their mind, I think it could be a good spot to take Aaliyah Boston for sure. Like I said, her points prop was 14.5 last night, and she's been crushing it. If we just look at real quick, let's look at this. If we go over to Outlier, if I can get it to load. All right. We go over to Outlier. We look at Aaliyah Boston. So her points prop, this is field goals made. Her points, yeah, see 14.5. I mean, she is over 14.5 in, what is this? 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of her last 8 games, back-to-back games as well. I just feel like 14.5 is a tad bit too low. I know Caitlin Clark is coming back. I'm not expecting Caitlin Clark, points to go over. So I actually kind of like Aaliyah Boston. I think the number is just a tad bit too low. I think she can do the same thing that she did against the we know the Sparks, one of the worst teams in the WNBA as far as guarding the interior, but even with them, like, look, here's the game they played against Golden State right here. She had 17 in this game, and this was on the road, and they only scored 77. So yeah, I like it. I like Aaliyah Boston, her points prop. I didn't look at her double at all, but I think her rebound set at 8.5 last night. Yeah, so it's still 8.5. She has gone over that. If you expect the Fever to be able to slow down this offense for the Valkyries, then it does make sense to maybe tack on her rebounds as well. Another player, just real quick, because I was looking into these player props last night, Natasha Howard. I feel like she's continuing to be disrespected as well. I know Caitlin Clark's coming back. I understand it. But Natasha Howard, points prop, 11.5. She's over in 4 of her last 5 games. Her rebound prop was something that I considered as well. 6.5. She's had 13, 12, 10, and 9 in 4 straight games. Like, I don't know. I just it's kind of interesting. I do think it's going to be a lot of missed shots in this game because I like the under. So to me, it makes sense to take Natasha Cloud, points, rebounds, something. I think even with Caitlin Clark being back, I don't think her role is going to diminish that much, at least from a rebounding perspective. Maybe she doesn't score the ball as much because they won't need her to score as much. But I think these numbers are a tad bit too low, especially the Fever have the rest advantage in this spot as well. So I wouldn't be playing. I would be playing Natasha Cloud up and over her props as well. That's how I'm thinking about this one. Let's see what you got. Prolific says Caitlin Clark triple-double. Okay. I don't know about that, especially in her first game back. This is my thought process. What's up, AOD? Y'all take a second, hit the like button if you can. Brian says, I have Indiana -5, -3.5 in the first half. Their defense has been stellar lately the last 3 games. Good luck, Mark. You've been red hot, though. TJ says, keep grinding. Chris, always appreciate the looks and info. Good luck. Hit the like button. Appreciate that. Nally says, this game might be the first road win for the Valkyries. I'm on +7.5. Mark says also lean under 165. No play yet. Crazy how the Valkyries fade late. I hate it, Mark. I absolutely hate it. It's nothing like taking a team, plus. I think we got 7.5, 8.5 against Atlanta Dream. They had the lead in the fourth quarter, and they get outscored. I think it was 36-18 or 33-13 or something, like 23. Like, man, that should make me pull my hair out, man. I absolutely hate it. I can't stand the Valkyries. That's just my thoughts, though. Mark says, just live bet Sun team total under 69.5. That's a lot of points for the Sun. And they got 6 right now. Boy. This might not be a real team out there for Connecticut, boy. Danny says, what's up, Chris? I'm late, but how about the under 160 yesterday in the half? Bet it right before the tip. You got a good number because that under 160, 59 did not cash. Chris says, Brian says, Chris, do you think Caitlin Clark will be on a minutes restriction? I do think she'll be on a minutes restriction today, Brian. I do. Just listening to Stephanie White talk about it yesterday, post-practice, I do think she will. Free Sauce says, Anisha Morrow, over 10.5 points. She's averaging 11 field goals in her last 10. No Mabry over 4 last 5. I like Anisha Morrow. I like her a lot. That makes a lot of sense to me as well. We'll see how locked in Seattle is and if they give it up late. Kelsey Mitchell should take some pressure off Caitlin Clark. Not even just Kelsey Mitchell, because I agree with this, Mark. Not even just Kelsey Mitchell. I think also Ari McDonald, right? Like we forget Ari she can facilitate just as much as Caitlin Clark does. And Stephanie White was talking about trying to manage the minutes because even the Indiana Fever, I think, are on a 5th game in 8 nights as well because of the Commissioner's Cup game. Caitlin Clark could be a little rusty. I can't get there with the Valkyries, but I guess it is Valkyries +7.5. I kind of agree with Naeli. I don't want to play it, though. I do not want to play it. But I haven't seen the Fever, be able to close out a game in quite a while, especially against a good defensive team. So we'll see. We shall see, man. My top plays in the game, though, would be Caitlin Clark under her 18.5 points. And I like the full game under more than trying to pick a side. That's my thought process. Next game up. And is this the last game? No, it's 2 more games. So this is also early start time game. We got the I didn't realize I got to get ready to leave too. I had to go pick my son up. So we got Dallas and Chicago. So I'll go through these ones a little bit quicker. Arike has already been ruled out for Dallas. No Dejanay Carrington. She's also already ruled out for Dallas. Let me just double check, make sure I didn't miss anybody else. I didn't do these in order. Phoenix and Minnesota should be next. So let's go backwards because I wanted to keep these in order. I think I wrote them down. No, I didn't. I just skipped to the other game. All right, so Minnesota Phoenix. This is the camp day game for the Phoenix Mercury. It starts at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. Kalia Copper and Satu Sabali have already been ruled out. They missed the last game as well. And then Alexa Held is also out. The Minnesota Lynx will pretty much be at full strength. So this is a spot, right? I'm looking at this spot and I'm like, this is a good spot for Minnesota. And then I look at the schedule and not so much, right? Minnesota is by far the better team, especially, with the roster that's going to be put out there today. They've won they covered 7 of their last 10 games. They've won 3 in a row after losing the Commissioner's Cup. They've played in back-to-back unders against Chicago. And who did they play before they played Chicago? And the Valkyries, 2 unders, right? But this is their 5th game in 8 nights. This is also, I think, maybe their 6th game in 9 nights because of the Commissioner's Cup as well. Also, first leg of a back-to-back. They got a game in LA against the Sparks tomorrow. I couldn't quite get there with Minnesota because of that, man. This Phoenix Mercury team is 7-4 against the spread at home. They have the X factor. They're 8-3 overall. I know they'll be down a couple players in this game. They did blow out the Dallas Wings in their last game and got their revenge. And they've played in back-to-back overs, and 8 of their last 10 have actually gone up and over the total. Minnesota Lynx, of course, the best offensive team, the best defensive team. It's a revenge spot for Phoenix as well. Actually, a double revenge spot for Phoenix. They lost by 23 on June the 3rd as 12.5-point dogs, and the game stayed under the 159. And then in the first game, the time that these teams played, Phoenix was a 5. Phoenix also the Minnesota Lynx also beat Phoenix as a 5-point favorite, but they beat them by just 1, I think, back on May the 30th. That was the game that Natasha Heidemann hit the 3-pointer in the right corner to win the game. That game also stayed under the total. So it's a tough game. I think I will wait. I was thinking that this line would go up, in favor of the Minnesota Lynx, but we haven't seen that quite yet. So we'll see how it plays out. But I would want to take Phoenix on, maybe a +8 if this line gets a little bit bigger. Like I said, Minnesota the better team. I just don't like the situational spot for the Minnesota Lynx in this spot. This is not a game that I would bet. I think Phoenix plays hard. Minnesota's won a couple games in a row. Could be a little bit of a letdown spot for them in this game. So that's the way I'm thinking about it. I think as far as the total goes, I agree with the total coming down. I didn't bet the 163.5. I wish I would have got the better number, but it's down to 160.5, 161 on most books. And I kind of agree with that. Don't want to bet it now, though, losing a couple points of value. All right, so those are my thoughts real quick there. Let's see. Brian says, live bet, son, under 69. I'm with you, Mark. Let's get it. Yeah, Connecticut might not score. They got what? Oh, they just hit a 3. Okay, Connecticut. Haley out there. They on track to get 80, though. About 72. All right. Anyway. Yeah, I agree. Lynx should win. I don't know if they cover either. It would be Phoenix plus the points if I'm betting this game. Only way I'm looking is Phoenix plus the points. I know it's kind of hard to stomach, but Phoenix plus 7 would be the way that I would look. All right, now let's get over to the last game, one that I actually did bet, the only one that I bet so far. And Caitlin Clark won't have a minutes restriction. Is hoping to play Caitlin in shorter stints of 3 to 4 minutes. Okay. So we shall see. I think that'll mess up her rhythm, and that's another reason to like her points under. If she's just getting 3 to 4 minutes, probably her and Ari McDonald are going to be alternating back and forth. This is what we see a lot of the times with the Washington Mystics, right? They got a bunch of 4s and 5s, so they rotate them in and out with Shakira Austin and Kiki Iriafin and Big Mama Steph and who am I missing? Aaliyah Edwards. So yeah, I think that's what it screams to me, in my opinion. All right, last game on the board, the one that I did play. Oh, I gotta go back. Wings and Sky. This line is now at 1. I see it down to a pick as well. And it's hard to take Dallas. Dallas is not a good team at all, but they have been playing a lot better basketball. I think it's a terrible spot for the Sky though. So I would be looking towards the Wings as well. I'd rather take them as a dog than take them as a favorite. They open as 2-point dogs. They're now a 1-point dog. And like I said, it is a pick on some books as well. And it makes sense, right? This is a terrible spot for Chicago. So like I mentioned, Enrique is still out. Dejanay Carrington is out. Let me just double check and make sure nobody else is out. Maddie Segrist is still out. And then, of course, Cardosa Game time decision. I don't think she's gonna play though. I didn't read anything that said Cardoso was gonna play, but y'all let me know if y'all saw anything. She's not with the team ahead of Tuesday's matchup against the Mystics. I don't think she's gonna play, but they are back. Back at the crib. It's a terrible spot, like I said, for Chicago. Dallas has actually played 3 of their last 4 games over the total of 170. They're 7-3 to the over in their last 10 games as well, and that's the way I played it. I played the over. I got 165. It's up to 160. 166, I think, on most books, but I like the over. Trying to stay away from the spread, but I do think it'll be play fast pace. The spot that I mentioned for Chicago here is the first game back home after a 4-game road trip. They've covered 6 games in a row, but this will be the first time that they've actually been a favorite in any of those games, and that's when you want to fade them, in my opinion. I know Chicago's been hooping. I don't want them as a favorite in this spot, though. They have absolutely owned the Dallas Wings. They've won 5 straight. They've covered all 5. 2 of those games came early this season as well. That was before I think Dallas has been playing a little bit better as of late. Here's the problem with Dallas, though. Dallas' success recently has actually all came at home. Remember, they beat the Washington Mystics as a home dog without Enrique. I think they were without Paige in that game. Smoked Washington in a nice little quick revenge spot. Then they beat the Phoenix Mercury. I think they beat somebody else in there as well. And then they go to Phoenix and they get absolutely smoked, lose the game by 30 points in that last game. So it's kind of like it's still a terrible spot, like I said, for Chicago, though. This is Chicago's first game back home after a 4-game road trip. And they also are playing on no days rest, 3rd game in 4 nights, I think, for them as well in this spot. So they played a ton of games recently. So it makes sense for Dallas. I think the other thing that you like about Dallas in this spot is that Chicago is a team that relies heavily on scoring in the paint, right? With Elizabeth Williams, who looked like Hakeem Olajuwon yesterday against the Washington Mystics, and Angel Reese, who's been playing really, really good basketball. I think we could see a little bit of regression for Chicago in this spot because Dallas has been a really good team as far as guarding the interior, right? They got Ruth down there. They got the other center. I can't really pronounce her name too well, but they're a really good rebounding team, so they could potentially limit. I know Angel Reese has been absolutely going crazy on the boards and her points prop and all that good stuff, but it could be a little bit of a fatigue that sits in. And Dallas has played really, really good basketball. So as ugly as it looks, I would be on Dallas in this game, and I think that they can get the job done. It's a terrible spot for Chicago. However, like I said, I bet the over. A couple trends as well, right? Favors of 1 possession or less, playing on no rest. 14-7 to the over, 66%. And like I said, that's how I kind of see the games. Team traveling to home from a road game that are playing on no rest. Also 61% to the over as well. And the Killers, the Give Me the Dog database, 40-26, 10-1 to the over in their last 11 tries. And the more you add to the additional road games, the more likely the total goes over. So if you add that the home team is now coming off back-to-back road games, that's 73% to the over. And if you add that they're coming off 3 straight road games, 10-3 to the over, 77%. Chicago's 4th in pace, 12th in defensive rating on the season, even over the last 5 games that they've covered. They're still 10th in defensive rating, allowing the 2nd most points. Offensively, they are 5th in scoring in their last 5 games. Dallas is playing. They were playing some a little bit better defense, but they just gave up 102 to the Phoenix Mercury 2 nights ago. I think this game will be played with pace. I'm not expecting either team to play a lot of defense. I would still play it right now at 165.5. You can still get, because it's up to 167 on Circa. So that's my thought process. Dallas and the over would be the ways that I would play this game. Let's see what you guys are thinking, and then we'll do a quick recap, and I got to get ready to jump up off here. Angel Reese over her assists. Mark says he got 163. Small play on Sky money line. Think they're figuring it out. Wings missing pieces. I disagree, Mark. I think the Wings got enough. I don't got enough conviction to play it because I would want the Wings at home. They haven't showed me anything on the road yet. But I think Dallas can win this game. I don't like the spot for Chicago. It's a couple teams in bad spots today. And Chicago's definitely in probably the worst. Chicago and Minnesota definitely in the worst spots. See game time decision on RotoWire. I saw that as well, Lee. It also says she's not with the team, which makes no sense. So the thing you got to look at, Lee, is you got to read, right? So you got to read what the report says, and it says she's not with the team, but you can tell that update is from yesterday and not from today. So we'll see. W is crazy, man. I think, who was it? Somebody else just got Haley Jones just signed with somebody, and she's going to play today. So if you handicapped the game yesterday thinking Haley Jones wasn't going to play, she's out there. She's hooping today. I forgot what team she's on, but she just signed with a team earlier today as well. So we'll see how it goes, man. Jarrell says Dallas guards finna cook the Sky Guards. I could definitely see that. Don't like Rachel Banham on defense at all. Ariel Atkins is a pretty good defender, but Dallas, them rookies been hooping, man. Mark says, if I was a prop guy, I'd look at Angel Reese rebounds. I bet it loses. Today not actually a good day for Angel. I'm not fading her, but today not actually a good day for Angel Reese rebounds. Dallas, like I said, one of the better rebounding teams in the WNBA. They have significant rest advantage in this spot as well. I don't like it as much at all. Haley Jones is with the Wings, so she'll be out there with the Wings today as well. So we shall see, man. Everything that I just talked about is listed right here in the recap, though. I hope you guys find a way to make some money. Seattle, like I said, I would bet Seattle team total under, but that's already started, of course. 86.5. We'll see where they finish. Maybe even get them at halftime under their team total as a live bet opportunity, depending on how much they score here in the second quarter before halftime. They are winning by 7 right now. Caitlin Clark under her 18.5 points. As far as the full game, I like that under as well. Phoenix plus the 7. I would need a little bit more than 7, but I'm not laying points with the Lynx. I think it's a little bit of a letdown spot for them. And Dallas and Chicago, I played 165.5. Only thing that I did play. Link in the description as always to receive the plays when I do make them. If you want to sign up, the resources are here. Check out Jackson, Outlier, Money Baller, Eyes Jam. Best of luck on whatever you're playing. Hit the like button for me on the way up. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell, especially with these camp day games. No idea when I'm going to go live. Sometimes I don't even have an idea when I'm going to go live. But if you turn the notification bell on, then you'll get the alert, especially if you got some free time. So best of luck on your action, man. Make some money today. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.